So the Social Suplex newsletter just dropped their 50 best women's wrestlers in the world, which I believe is an annual thing that is about to happen. And very excited to dive into. I haven't seen the list yet. I am not involved with this, and you guys will see kind of, the staff will go through it and everything. But very excited to dig into this. It is called the Social Suplex Women's 50. So make sure you go to socialsuplex.com and check some of that stuff out. A lot of great work always being done at Social Suplex for a long time. And I hope you guys will check it all out. So this was done by my man Peter Edge, put together with the help of Chris Whitehead. Special thanks to Chris Gannon and Kev Mullen for the pictures. And you can see, just based off this cover here, it looks like a lot of Joshi representation, a lot of wrestlers from AEW as well. We'll go through and see, how it all shakes out. But let's take a look at the concept here. We've got, actually, I'm going to switch this thing so you can kind of see this whole thing a little bit better here than me. So let's take a look. We were proud to present the first ever Social Suplex Women's 50, aka SoSu 50, a concept dreamt up by the history man Peter Edge. We hope to make this an annual feature, timed each year around International Women's Day. So happy International Women's Day. But make no mistake, every day should be Women's Day. The concept came from considering our mission to cover the whole world of wrestling, and especially our wish to fill in so many of the gaps in coverage we see in the English language wrestling media. Part of that goal is our dedication to putting a focus on women's wrestling, which has led us to provide the deepest written coverage of Joshi Puroresu in our Japan section, to make sure the coverage of Eve Riot girls was a cornerstone of our Europe section, and of course women competing in the major leagues of the United States and Mexico. So that's dope. You always know when lists happen, lists are imperfect by kind of design. They're kind of designed to make you talk, and it looks like the goal is like very I would say what's the word I'm thinking of? The goal is a noble goal, and it looks like they're aware of the gaps that they are, trying to cover. So yeah, we, like every publication, have gaps on our coverage. For example, Mexico and the U.S. Indies, and the list reflects that to some extent. These are the gaps that we hope to fill as we move this project forward in the future. Shout out to the panel, Awfully Waffly, Waffly Bollocks, Bex, Grapple Theory, Secret Girl Game Podcast, Chris Gannon, the Social Suplex Newsletter, Chris Whitehead, Social Suplex Newsletter, David Hayter, Social Suplex Newsletter, Eric Addy, Social Suplex Newsletter, also hosts of the Joshing Around podcast on the Social Suplex Podcast Network, Catherine _973X, Lyric Swinton, shout out to Lyric, Takedown on SI, Peter Edge, also of the Social Suplex Podcast Network, and Tim Hunter of the Social Suplex Podcast Network, co-host of Joshying Around. So I didn't even know this was happening. So this is going to be interesting. So the balloting system, they got 20 people they wanted to nominate, weighted scoring system. Points are totaled across all our panelists' votes. Ties in the rankings were broken in this order: highest number of votes, highest place vote. If the tie was still unbroken, they did a poll of panel members to rank the tied wrestlers. So it's, it looks like it's pretty deep here. So they were purposefully loose with the criteria to give the panelists maximum flexibility and discretion. The eligibility period was the calendar year of 2025, so the wrestlers needed to have been active during at least some of the year. So any wrestling list, many dimensions. You can be in the ring and out it, promos, charisma, aura, vibes, drawing, level of push, kayfabe achievements. There's no right or wrong, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to it. All right, here's the list, man. So here's the list, man. Sayaka Carrara. If I butcher any names, please forgive me. She looks like she is a Stardom wrestler, and she is, I think I may have seen her once or twice. I believe she is like tall, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty cool. Number 49, Lyra Valkyria. So I think Lyra has a lot of fans that liked some of the stuff she did with Becky. I thought she, it's really hard to assess the women in WWE. So Asuka, number 48. Okay. Okay. Um, mentioned Asuka's 44 years of age. She returned from a major knee injury. Wow, I didn't realize that. Um, let's see. This wasn't Asuka's only character evolution. So a lot of stuff with the character stuff. Maybe if I could see like the achievements a little clearer, but that's cool. She's been wildly watchable feature. Looks like they're showing love to her segments. Number 47, Mesa Ruga, Choco Pro. Mesa Ruga, I've seen her in Tokyo Joshi Pro. I've seen her in Stardom, seen her in AEW before. Pretty good wrestler here. L.A. Taylor, never seen her before. She comes from the UK, freelance person. Looks like Sarah from Awfully Waffly covers her. Number 45, Momo Watanabe, one of my favorites. She is just, it seems like she's been around forever, but then it's like, yo, she's 25 years old, huh? Like, so, she had a big year. She won I think she won the 5-star Grand Prix, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So if she'll ever get that red belt, we'll see. So, moving forward, Mizuki. Anytime you see the whirling dervish, I believe that's the name, or it's the whirling candy. Excuse me. I believe that's Mizuki's move from Tokyo Joshi Pro. Number 43, Kanji. I've heard this name a lot. Freelancer. She did wrestle Mercedes Moné. Yep, and that's where I heard of her. That's pretty cool. Number 42, Naomi in WWE. Naomi kind of probably left some ranks on the table because obviously she went out due to pregnancy about halfway through the year. She ended up doing like a cash-in, and cash-ins aren't my favorite ways for people to win or anything like that. And it remains to be seen where everything was headed. But there is this trope of the summertime woman's cash in for someone they would consider like a weak champion. Remains to be, I wonder if it was going to go that way, but Naomi did kind of like remake her whole character. So maybe it would have given her a little bit more legs to kind of claim her spots. But she ruined the big cash in with during that Rhea Ripley Io Sky match. So yeah. Number 41, Sky Smitten. Never seen her before. Freelance in the UK. Looks like she's on the experience. Sky Smitten is a formidable heel, and she's feuding with Amira Blair. Okay. Cool. Number 40, Kenny Omega's daughter, La Catalina from CMLL. Every time I see her, she's getting better and having like these incredible like looking spots that it's like, yeah, she's probably gonna be a star very soon if she's not like already there. At number 40 in the Social Suplex poll, so I would probably assume she's probably gonna go up a little higher even. Let's see. Number 39, Millie McKenzie. Haven't heard that name in a while. She was in NXT UK, but it looks like, she's been, just going all around in the UK. Says she's one of the most accomplished wrestlers on the independent scene and somehow still has yet to work in America. She is to date the only woman that has held all 3 titles in Sendai Girls, has held countless titles throughout Europe, has enough range to work a no-rope blood sport style match, death matches, and everything in between, with an incredible knack for knowing when she can be playful when it's time to get down to business. Yeah, I'm shocked nobody else has gone to get her yet. So I would anticipate that's going to change. Number 38, Amira Blair. Okay, known by many as Michael Oku's manager valet, Amira has made waves in wrestling for her outrageous personality, a happy-go-lucky babyface in some promotions, and a deranged and in vain Riot Girls wrestling. So, Amira has entertained many. I wish we get like a match list or something, like 5 matches to watch from this person. Okay, there's a recommended match. Okay. Amira Blair versus Sky Smithson. Okay. Maybe we can get like a link in there or something like that. That'd be cool. Number 37, Anita Vaughn. A lot of UK. So shout out to the UK putting a lot of people on this list here. She looks like she had a WWE tryout. She was working with Eve in AEW. She got a match with Chris Statlander, Queen Emanata, and Anita Vaughn. Cool. Rio, I believe she may be headed to WWE. I'm not sure. Staple of the British scene. Rio has been having a standout year in terms of in-ring work and accomplishments across various promotions. If there's any thing I'm getting from this list right now, is that the British are coming. Like, the British are coming. And it's like, they, are not playing around. Like, if, it's, let's see what we got here. Number 35, Miyu Yamashita. So it's like, I think the thing with her, at least for how I see it, is like, will she or won't she make a jump to North America, for good at a certain point. But it looks like, she had a lot of work in TJPW. She was in Rev Pro, Wrestle Queendom. They teased that. So, and she, they're saying she had a quiet year. Recommended match against Mizuki, who was lower on the list. She had 5 4-star matches. Interesting. 34, Konami, the technical specialist. Konami's been cool. She's had a lot of injuries, it looks like. Looks like the recommended matches against Sari. So I bet Sari's going to do really well in this. Number 33, Suzu Suzuki, one of my favorites. Just always been great, in my opinion. I've always enjoyed her work. Her recommended matches against Sari as well. And, let's see. They talked about the condition that she's been going through. It's crazy because, like, it doesn't seem to, like, really affect her in the ring to me. Like, it's like, yo. It's like she has, like, a whole new dynamic now, it seems like. Number 32, Harley Cameron. So this one will probably be kind of controversial because I think people see Harley Cameron, they don't necessarily see the great worker or anything yet, but I think you're talking about one of the more entertaining wrestlers in the world. Definitely takes risks with her presentation and things that she does, but I can appreciate it from a perspective of working that hard to just be credible to step in the ring at all. I think when she first debuted, it was just like, hey, man, we not sure about this. Now when she's out there, it's like I think people are accepting of it. I think the tag team has done a lot for her. With Willow Nightingale, won that championship, and she has kind of some nice chemistry with Mercedes, which is never a bad thing. You can always run that back, and we'll see. Like going forward, if the Babes of Wrath come off the belts, is there a path for her in singles anywhere? Going forward. Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale versus Athena and Mercedes. Yeah, that was probably her biggest match because she ended up, I believe, getting the pinfall. Number 31, Rhea Ripley. Oh my God, this one is going to cause full-scale meltdowns. Social Suplex, y'all are brave that did this list. 15 points, 1 vote. The highest that she got was 6th. It looks like, she was over. They say that, but just kind of, it's been about her and Io. Didn't really hold the championship. Seems like they just strategically kept her away from it. Large part of her success has been due to the long overdue decision to cave to fan pressure and bring together those folks as an on-screen duo. They said she had a great match with Raquel, some TV main events with Asuka, Kyrie. That's interesting. 31. That feels low, but we'll see. People might go crazy, but maybe it's a fair thing. Number 30, Miku Aono from Marigold. I watched Marigold in the very beginning and have not watched much since. So I'm gonna trust the list on this. So let's see. Number 29, Mio Momono. I believe I heard that name quite a bit. It's from Marvelous. They said if Takumi is the brains of the operation of Marvelous and Mio Momono is undoubtedly its heart, Marvelous simply isn't the same without her, a fact made painfully clear during her 5-month absence due to a serious elbow injury. Her return match is one of my favorite Vibes matches of the year. July 13th, she went hard in the paint in front of an adoring crowd, reminding everyone exactly what they had been missing. Her recommended match is a tag match, it looks like, against Kazuna Tanaka and Mirai. Looks cool there. Number 28, Windsor. So shout out to Windsor. Came in and just was this. She was almost like the like what Speedball and Mike Bailey did and Kevin Knight did for the AEW men's side. That's kind of what Alex Windsor did for the women. She just came in and wrestled hard as hell every time she was out there, and it I think got her over pretty, to a pretty good level where you could have strapped her up at a certain point, but they didn't decide to go that direction. They put her with Jamie Hayter now, and you're looking at a future AEW Women's Champion with Alex Windsor here. I don't know if she's going to have to unlock a little more in the character department as far as is it a heel turn that gets her there? I'm not sure, but I think she has the goods. Number 27, one of my favorites, Persephone. So just coming off that match with Mercedes the other night, worked Forbidden Door, rose up in CMLL, power wrestler, just all the swag in the world, great promo, all that. Like worked in Ring of Honor against Athena, did a lot of stuff. So she's tough, and she's got the dual contract now with AEW. So we're gonna see her against Willow Nightingale this week. So I believe that she will probably have a monster year again. And, they mentioned she quietly had a monster year. Number 26, Rena, one of the teenagers, as I always called her. Her and her twin sister. 19 years old. Jesus. Still, I think I may have seen Rena for the first time when she was like 15, if I'm not mistaken. So, just been around a while and, gonna continue to climb that ladder. Starlight Kid versus Rena. Okay. Number 25, Stephanie Vaquer. So I think the WWE fans are going to be aiming at y'all. I'm just saying. They're probably going to want her higher, but it seems like there's not really inspired booking to lift these folks higher. So she, went crazy in developmental, they said. Always great in-ring work. The Booker T element cannot be overlooked here. Won the championship going into WrestleMania as the champion. I think she's kind of outkicked her coverage. Had the talent to do it. Of course, had the match with Mercedes a few years ago, which kind of put her on the map in the U.S., immediately signed with WWE. And I think she was just booked bad in the second half of the year. When you got to do pay-per-view matches with Nikki Bella in 2025, it's just tough. Number 24, my mortal enemy, Natsupoi. She lost Tam Nakano, and I ended the beef. Longtime listeners of One Nation Radio will know this. She ended up getting married recently, so congratulations to her and Shingo Takagi. Her recommended match is her, Ano, and Tam Nakano versus Neo Genesis, Starlight Kid, Azumi, and Miyu Amasaki. That's interesting. She may not be headed around or sticking around for long, so this could be on the last days of Natsupoi. Number 23, Nina Samuels, another freelancer, 24 points. 2025 would be the year Nina dropped the belts and she had her belt collector era. Okay. Like I said, lots of UK love here, man. And I don't know too much about Nina Samuels, but we will take a look. She wrestled Chris Statlander, it looks like, so that might be something to check out. Number 22, Tommy, over in Marigold. This was one of my favorite wrestlers in the world when she was in Stardom. Unfortunately, I have not followed along to Marigold. I'm sure she's doing a great job. But it looks like she's in a mid-career crisis, they're saying, David. So recommended match, her and Mayu. It just seems wrong, man. I miss Stardom. And I know they've done a great job business-wise, like the last year, levels that, they haven't really taken it to, but it seemed like they were so loaded in 2022, 2023, just with everybody that is split up throughout the wrestling world. There have been people that have gone to AEW, there have been people that have gone to WWE, there are people that are in Marigold, and there are people in Stardom, and they were all in one promotion before. So I just miss those days, but what they say about the old days, they're the old days. Number 21, Mika Awada from Sendai Girls. Never seen her before. Just going to keep scrolling. Number 20, Sapphire Reed. 22 years old for another UK person. Like, the UK is all over this. So I don't know if that's a reflection of the demographics of the panel, or if it's that just, if it's that lit over there. Number 19, one of my all-time favorites, Takumi Iroha, one of the hardest kickers and strikers there are. And, she's had multiple ACL and knee injuries and stuff like that. So love Takumi Iroha, one of my favorites of all time. Looks like her recommended match is Sora Ayame versus Takumi Iroha. Number 18, Tekla. Shout out to Big Tech. Coming in, just won the world championship in AEW 2-3 weeks ago. I actually ran into her when I was out in Sacramento, and was able to congratulate her on that. And her recommended match is Tekla versus Athena. I think she's so charismatic, so much of a different kind of wrestler. Well, usually when you see like a small wrestler like that, they are just kind of running from everything. It just doesn't really hit like that. But explosive promo, super charisma, cool as fuck, good wrestler, all that in one. She had the match with Aminata where it looked like they was going to kill each other. She's fearless. Number 17, Venny. Haven't seen Venny for many years. She is now a freelancer, it looks like. So, I think Venny needs to. Somebody needs to call her. Tell her to get booked on Forbidden Door or something. What's up? Number 16, Willow Nightingale. Love Willow Nightingale. Think she does great work. Won the tag team championship. Perhaps could have been the world champion. Won the TBS championship against Mercedes Moné last year. She seems like close to the surest bet in AEW, just from like whenever she goes out there, you're probably going to like what she does, whether she's in a main event like that 5-on-5 match Anarchy in the Arena. Like she plays well off of other people play well off of her. It's like you can stick people with her and help them out, like Harley Cameron, like Chris Statlander, like all these other people. She's this person that everybody circles essentially. And I think that world championship probably is not too far off. She's one of the best baby faces of this generation, or any. And I think she's got just the international appeal. She goes to Mexico, she goes to Japan, she goes to the UK, and works against everybody. And I think she is. I don't know if she's reaching her peak at the moment, or if there's maybe like this is like 3 to 5 year prime that's waiting in front of her. But I'm very excited to see wherever it goes with Willow. Number 15, Saori Ano, one of the hardest hitters there is, from Stardom. Her 10th anniversary. Looks like her recommended matches against Tam. She's tough. A lot of people love Ano, and it's earned over the years, where it's like, yeah, she's in here, she is Raw. We don't know if she's ever going to get a real push, and she actually ended up getting a push last year. So I think that led to that number 15 rank. Number 14, Chris Statlander from AEW. Won that championship last year. Didn't drop it till a few weeks ago. She was in Pro Wrestling Eve. Just all over this. Probably the best bell-to-bell AEW Women's Champion there's ever been. Just killer matches against Hayter, against Mercedes, against Tony. Just Tekla, like, just is nuts. Like, the big story with the Death Riders, like, she had a lot going for her, and I hope that she doesn't get discouraged and think that she was a failure, but rather than look at it like, hey, I failed, it's like, nah, I got an opportunity to shore up something that may have been missing. So, like, the wrestling's in the bag. She ain't got to worry about that. Number 13, Io Sky. So Io way up. There are people that call her the best wrestler in WWE. There are people that call her the best wrestler in the world. I think we need to slow down with that. But super popular, perhaps pushed and received at a higher level than Asuka ever was, which is kind of a direct comparison for her in WWE because they occupy so much of the same space there, to where, you just look at it. WWE doesn't have a ton of high level wrestling, so whoever does it, you kind of gotta tip your hat to them. So for getting it through. Her recommended match, of course, was the match with Rhea Ripley before it got, ran in on. Also won the belt at WrestleMania in a 5-star match. So, yeah. I think EO is something. Azumi, a One Nation Radio sponsored wrestler and athlete. Azumi, only 23 years of age. Feels like I've been watching her since before the pandemic. So, yeah. And it's, is she going to break to the top? So, Chris is lobbing Azumi up for Hall of Fame consideration. So, she's 23. She debuted at 11 years old. She could be 26 years old on her 15th anniversary. Let's start getting her to the red belt. Let's stop playing with it. Her, Starlight Kid, should be chasing Saya Kamatani. That's what would hook me back on Stardom, the way I was in like 2023, 22, 20. Like, I'm ready for Starlight Kid and Azumi to be like, yo, what's up? And, I love Saya Kamatani. Like, you'll find no bigger Saya Kamatani person than me. But, let's keep it going. Athena, number 11. Okay. Maybe a tad high? It's just when you're in ROH, and I know there's indie wrestlers on here that have, all the UK people. This feels a little high for Athena, which I don't know if this was like the best Athena year. Like I can probably pull up like maybe 2 years ago and feel like it was a stronger year for her. But holding that championship and going all over seems to have moved the staff here. It looks like multiple people contributed to this one. Been the ROH Women's Champion, super long. Anytime she comes to AEW, though, she loses. So there's something going on here. I don't know what, but her recommended matches against Mercedes. She won that match at All In. 11 is a good ranking, but over EO could be tough. Over Statlander could be tough, as well as Willow too. Interesting. This is the first one I find myself kind of like looking like, maybe that one should have went down a little. Number 10, Mayu Iwatani, man, jumped from Stardom this year, which is just insane, when you think about it. But then again, Rossi's over there too, so he's gonna bring Mayu in. Her against Nanai on May 4th. It was not just about work rate; it's about importance. Interesting. She has dominated this scene for a decade. Is she the world champion? And she's got a couple belts on her in Marigold. Interesting. Number 9, Miyu Watanabe, another One Nation Radio sponsored athlete. 103 points, 7 votes. Highest vote was 4th. She's tough. Just somebody that is super strong. Wrestles nothing like how she looks, which is, if you've never seen her before, I think you'd be in for a treat watching her. Number 8, Starlight Kid, the other half of the Starlight Kid Azumi convo. When one does well, the other one seems to pull up and pull by. So Starlight Kid's kind of been earmarked, for the top since she was a little child, with the heel turn kind of accelerating things and going back babyface now. So, I think that, when you look going forward, it's like, can she get to the top? She was in that white belt division. Recommended match is against Ano. And, I think, it's time, 2026. What are we waiting for? Number 7, Tam Nakano recently retired with the all-time classic against Saya Kamatani, one of my boy James's favorite wrestlers of all time. If not, at this rate, it might be his favorite wrestler of all time. But she only wrestled for 4 months. Lots of great storytelling designed and leading up to her retirement. the best retirement of 2025, bar none. I would rank the Tanahashi one above it, but probably not anything else. I thought it was sensational and spectacular, and highly recommend the review that James and I did about it at the time on One Nation Radio. Yeah, recommended match, Saya versus Tam, April 27th. Go out of your way to see that. One of the greatest matches of all time. Shuri, number 6, another favorite wrestler of all time for me. 2022, I didn't think there was anybody better than her, walking the earth. So, she's had kind of a quiet year. And she's dipped her toes in international waters, and she's going forward. You got to see what she really wants. So I could see her picking up more international bookings, dream matches. Of course, her and Sari got to it. And, I think she dropped a championship to Alex Windsor the other day, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. Number 5, Toni Storm. This feels like it is a little low. Like, I thought Toni might finish in, at least the top 3. For her to be at number 5 here feels surprising. Dominated the AEW women's title picture, along with a few of Mariah May. Spun that off into the summer headlining match with Mercedes Moné. She unlocked a level of her character that I think wasn't always present when the gimmick first started, because it would have trouble translating to the ring. I would say 2025 was a year that she absolutely was a turn your brain off, and she's still going to have a great match, in the ring. And it wasn't always like that. I think she's very special in that regard. And you're watching somebody with one of the most unique gimmicks and personalities to come along, just an absolute psychopath who lives for wrestling. I think that, you're not going to actually see more better years for a woman. I feel like this is actually very low. So, yeah. Number 4, Big Hash, Chihiro Hashimoto, Sendai Girls. Like I said, I'm not going to argue with Hashimoto. I didn't watch a ton of Hashimoto, but I know she's on that level. Like, she's real. Can't really argue there. Now, number 3, Mercedes Moné. This is interesting. Go ahead and check out the Mercedes Moné video I recently just did. You talk about somebody that walks into a promotion in 2024 and really acclimates herself in 2025. It was a year of acclimation for Mercedes Moné. It felt like she went through this metamorphosis of being somebody that was an interloper to planning routes with lower members of the roster, going head to head and head up with the biggest stars on the show, consistently. And she felt like a more defined presence in 2025 while doing everything around the world. And now, as she tends to come off those belts, we get to see the other side of that. So it's almost like we were flipping the pancake over for 2026 for her, and it could even be better. And, her recommended match, I would assume Toni Storm at All In. Absolutely. Yeah, that was one of the best matches I've seen in person ever. Number 2, Sari. Can't really argue that. She's called by Chris the greatest in-ring wrestler in the world today of any gender. Sari will beat the hell out of you. She goes hard, and it's a shame what happened to her in WWE. And she spent that basically showing up to wherever she needs to in Japan. And even, I believe she showed up in Ring of Honor once, and just beating the hell out of whoever you put in there with her. Like a warrior. No arguments with Sari. Number 1, Saya Kamatani. Look, Saya Kamatani is perhaps my earliest pick of somebody that I think they were going to be an ace ever. When she first came on the scene, I was just drawn to her wrestling style. I thought that, she had incredible size, incredible speed, and just the way she would do her matches, it just impressed the fuck out of me. And in her case, this was her year to finally, assume the throne. Controversial heel turn. Count me as somebody that, I like baby faces, so I love to see my favorites be baby faces. But she tapped into this dark ace energy, retired Tam Nakano, and probably went ahead to win the Japanese MVP in Tokyo Sports. So Mercedes being at 3, I can't really be too upset if it's behind Saya Kamatani and Sari. Toni Storm also would have to fall in line behind Saya Kamatani. I think they did a very good job, actually, at that top level. Kamatani's just like, you want matches, you got them. You want big business, you got it. You want people setting records for their promotion, you got it. Just all over, a mainstream sports star in Japan, on national television over there. And it's just you can see how long the essay is. I would encourage everybody to check these out. I'm going through this now because obviously I'm trying to be respectful of you guys' time, but I don't want to get everything here. I just want to share this with you. But man, so let's take a look at these fun facts here. So no candidate was able to harvest the full complement of 10 votes, but 3 people got 9, Saya Kamatani, Sari, and Shuri. Mercedes Moné received the most first-place votes, but also did not make the ballot of 2 voters. Who are you? The next first-place votes, which was a tie between Kamatani, Sari, and Tam, 7th. Kamatani had the most second-place votes. Sari had the most third-place. Athena was the only person who had a first-place vote but didn't make the top 10, placing on 5 total ballots, did not get any second or third-place votes. 12, Azumi tied for third place on most total ballots with 7 votes but didn't make the top 10. She tied on 7 total votes with Toni Storm and Miyu Watanabe. Io Sky, 13, was the only person to make the top 15 with just 3 ballots, thanks in part to 1 second-place vote. The average age of the wrestlers in the top 50 is 30 years old. The youngest wrestler at the time of press is 19. The oldest is 44. Note, this average does not include the 4 wrestlers whose ages are not publicly disclosed. Of the top 50, 39 are signed to a company, and 9 different companies are represented by those wrestlers. The remaining 11 wrestlers are freelancers. So this is it, man. Just looking at it, this is a hell of a list. I think it's only going to get better. You may have to answer some questions about Harley Cameron being over Suzu Suzuki. That just kind of looks funny to me, but I'm sure you can pick at a lot of things on any list. EO at 13 is probably going to piss some people off, but you look at the people that are above her, it's hard, man. I think they got it right, though. Sai Kamatani should be number 1. Yeah. So, yeah. I love it. So, shout out to the Social Suplex staff and all that. And I think that is going to wrap it up here. Make sure that you guys are liking this video, subscribing to the channel. Appreciate all you guys doing, your most to help the channel out. And, let's get it popping, man.
Hall P-Dub in the house. Go and hit that like button on your way out. Leave a few words and I'll holler back soon. Till we meet again, reach the stars and the moon. Woo!